Hi everybody, welcome back to Look Rod soon. It's 20th of June apparently. So we're gonna get started. As the penguin says, it's like famous penguin catchphrase that they always say. I've already forgotten what it is. Don't worry about it. Penguins they say all sorts of shit, so we'll figure it out. Hi, thank you very much for tuning in. Today's episode is going to be full of crazy action. If you like jumping off buildings, if you like throwing hand grenades into a room and then like hiding behind a table and then putting your hands over your ears and then waiting a couple of seconds and then the room behind you explodes, then you're going to enjoy today's episode because it's going to be all sorts of wacky adventures, let me tell you. Excuse me, I had to cough there. I don't know if you could tell. Probably couldn't hear it. I think I got away with it. I don't think you heard that. I think you got away with it. So, today is going to be full of wacky action. If you like a crazy cart... Wait, hang on 1 second. We have a special offer there on the stunning teacher's desk. As always, we have a wide variety of other items as well. Why not stop by? If you like a crazy car chase... And I mean a crazy car chase. I'm not talking about your regular run-of-the-mill car chase. I'm talking about a car chase that you see it and you go, whoa, what? Like a car chase where like you're chasing out the bad guys, and you're in a car. Hence the car chase. But then you get out of the car and you like jump onto the other guy, the bad guy's car. Yeah, and you jump onto the car and you're like, I'm coming to get you. And the bad guy's like, don't come and get me. But you do, and then he swerves his car to try and throw you away. And you jump off the car onto a motorbike. And the way you do it is like you kind of like land, and as you land you knock the other guy on the motorbike off his motorbike, and then you continue to ride the motorbike, but like still move, like there's no one fluid motion. You keep going, you know what I mean? Really cool looking. And then you chase him down, and then he gets to the docks, and he's like, I gotta get out of here. So he throws the car that he's in off the pier of the docks, and you think he's in the car, so you're like, oh no. So you like swerve your motorbike to stop, and then when you do that, you turn around and you see that he's jumped into like a speedboat, and you're like, oh hell yeah. So you just like rev your motorbike up. And you jump on to the back of like a what do you call them? A cruise ship that's leaving port that day, full of passengers. And you ride your motorbike all the way up along the cruise ship, and you avoid the passengers, but it looks cool because they're like, you know like people are, whatever. Motorbikes right up their ass, and then you go all the way along the cruise ship, and then jump off the bow? Is that the front? Oh, she wants to give a camera back to Snooty. I guess I hit the wrong thing. Sorry, fuck you, Snooty. I got sidetracked because of Snooty. God, she does this every time. Unbelievable. I'm so angry. I'm gonna have to do a Snooty counter because I cannot believe that this happens every fucking time. Every time I ask somebody if they need help, it's about Snooty. Fucking hell. Anyway, I was talking about the spectacular car chase that's not on boats, but don't worry about it. So you jump off the bow of the ship, and somehow the speedboat hasn't got that far away. So you jump off the bow of the ship, and then you land your motorbike right on the speedboat. And then the guy's like, oh no. And then you have a fist fight on the speedboat. And who's driving the speedboat, right? Incredible. So that's what today's episode is going to be like. It's going to be exactly like that thing that I just described. It's going to be action-packed, let me tell you. There's going to be so much stuff going on. You're going to be like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. That's incredible. What else? You're rappelling down the side of a building, but then the building starts to fall apart. And you're like, no! And it starts to like Jenga down, like all the bits fall off. Like, oh crap, I gotta get out of here. So you start rappelling as fast as you can. But can you rappel as fast as that building that falls down? There's only one way to find out. That's what kind of action-packed episode we're in for today. It's gonna be crazy, let me tell you. Imagine you're skiing in the Alps, and then a man's chasing you, and he's on a sled, so he's got like wolves pulling his sled, and he's chasing you, and you're like sliding down the mountain on your skis, and you're like, how am I gonna get out of this pickle? This is a real pickle if ever I saw one. The dogs right there. I don't have any dogs. This isn't a fair fight at all. What am I gonna do here with the dogs? So, and he's chasing you because the dogs are fast, man. Dogs are pretty quick. I don't know if you've you've ever noticed, but dogs can move at quite a pace, right? So the dogs are coming right after you, and the bad guys, they got like a big machine gun. And they're like wow, 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 wow. You know, well, I don't know how to tell you what noise a machine gun makes. We're all familiar with machine guns, but he's like wow, 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 you know, like that, or whatever noise it is that a machine gun makes. You know, it varies from country to country, really. Some countries don't have machine guns that make that noise, but the country I live in definitely has machine guns that make that noise. Let me assure you. And he's like, wow, 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 you know. So you're like, how am I going to get out of here? And then you see a chalet in front of you. And then you're like, oh, no, I could hide in that chalet. But also, there's people around. I don't want to get them involved in my escapades. How am I going to save them? How am I going to do this, you know? So you radio ahead to your friend who's in a helicopter. He helicopters up over the Alps, and he sees you. And he throws in a flare, like an emergency flare, at the guy on the sled with the dogs, right? So, and then it's like, oh, my eyes! But the dogs break away from the sled. They're like, wah, 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 because they're dogs, and that's the noise that dogs make. And then they break away. And then at the chalet, somebody's eating sausages, and so the dogs, when they seem like they were angry. And then the dogs come up to the guy eating sausages, and then they're like, oh, can we have some sausages too? And then the guy's like, okay, here's some sausages. So the dogs are friendly now. But then the bad guy on the sled, he's got a flare in his face, and he's like, ooh, get it out of me. And then he slides his sled past the chalet and then into, like, down the mountain, right? And then into the exact, like, there's a cop car, a big like police van at the bottom of the mountain with the back doors open, and a little ramp, and he goes all the way down and then like up the ramp and into the police van, and then the cops like slam the door shut, and then they go, that's another case solved, boys, we did it. And then they drive away and take him to prison. So that's the kind of episode we're gonna have today. It's gonna be that kind of action-packed fun. Let me assure you. And I wouldn't lie. I wouldn't lie about this. Would I lie? I've never lied. You can be sure of it. It's going to be action-packed, man. What else happens in action movies? There's a big airplane, right? And you're driving the airplane. And you look over across the thing. And you see another airplane. And who's in the airplane? It's the bad guy. And he's just like shaking his fist at you. And you're like, what do you want? And he's like, what? I said, what do you want? And he's just like shrugging his shoulders. He's like, I can't, neither of you can understand it. So then you get on like the local radio, like the radio PA system. So you can talk to each other via airplane radio. And then you're like, I'm going to get you. And then he's like, no. Now you're talking through the radio. So that's how you can hear each other. He's like, no, you can't get me. And then you're like, I'm going to get you. And then he's over. And then he's like, no, you'll get me. Over. And then you're about to say something, but then he gets it. He's like, no, I'm going to get you. Over. And then you're like, no, it was my turn to talk. You're not allowed to. We go back and forth, right? So I talk, and then you talk. And then that's the thing we do. Over. And then the bad guy's like, I know. You think this is the first time I've like fought somebody in the air? I know how this works. Over. And then there's like a little pause. And then you're like, are you going to say something to me now, or is it my turn? Over. And then the bad guy's like, no, it's you. Say something witty really quick. We're running out of fuel here. Over. And then you're like, all right. Looks like I'm gonna. Hey, can you come back in like 5 minutes when I think of a witty line? Over. And then the bad guy's like, no, dude, I need to get this done like really quick. I need to pick my kids up from school in like, I'd say in an hour, and I need to wrap this up real quick so I can go and do that. Over. So you're like, oh, fuck. All right, well, I don't have a woody line, so I guess I'm gonna have to kill you. Over. And the bad guy's like, I like to see you try. Over. But then you fly your plane into his plane, and then the two planes combined into like, you in your head you think it's gonna combine like a transformer or like a Power Ranger thing. But it's not what happens. It's just you got two wrecked airplanes, and you're both like tumbling through the sky, like, oh no, you know. But you have a parachute. Does the bad guy have a parachute? I don't know. And the problem is, he's just admitted that he has kids that he has to pick up from school. But you're like, I don't care. Fuck you, right? You try to kill me, you know. So you let him die. And you float down in your parachute and land on top of his charred corpse. So that's the kind of action-packed adventure you're going to have today. Let me assure you, it's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. You're going to be in a bank vault, and then you're going to hear an explosion, and the guy walks through the bank vault, and he's like, the bank is mine now. I'm taking it. And he starts to like vacuum up all the money in the bank, like Luigi in Luigi's Mansion. And you're like, no. So you wait till he like turns around, and then as he does, you cut open the bag, and all the money comes out again. But he walks away, and he thinks that all the money is in his bag, but you obviously it's not. And then he gets all the way to his hideout, and then when he gets into his hideout, he's like, "Look, I got a big bag full of money," and he sets it on the table. But there's a hole in the bag; all the money fell out, and he's like, "Oh no! Somebody! Whoa! What? I can't believe this!" Go, etc. You know, that's the kind of action-packed episode today is going to be. So now that we've established what kind of episode today is going to be, I want to wrap things up here. But remember, if you like action-packed TV shows or YouTube shows, make sure to tune in tomorrow for more action-packed stuff. It'll be a blast. It really will. It'll be lots of fun. So remember, tune in tomorrow, and I will see you then for more action. Goodbye. Don't fall off an airplane unless you have a parachute.